Here we go. What is up, guys? Yes. Hey, guys, today I have a legendary interview. Today we have Sonia.
Hello.
Yay. Guys, if you guys do not know who Sonia is, she is one of our brand newest instructors, and she's actually today is going to be talking about what I think is probably the absolute most important thing you guys can do in this industry. Because guys, she is somebody that is the face of in front of 991,156 people, and she presses the Facebook Live, and she is the leader of that group, of that following. And so, guys, we're going to be interviewing. She's going to be telling us how to take that bold step into such a position that I think every single one of you guys are here for a reason to do, because you guys are called to be leaders in this industry. So, Sonia!
I love your enthusiasm. Is like one of my most, I literally will just get on the phone if I need somebody to pump me up. So what's up? I'm so excited to be here. Hello to all of you guys in Traffic Gods. Thanks so much for having me. And in HMU, Hemp Marketing University, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to be able to give you guys some of the nitty gritty, dirty and flirty things that we are doing right now to capture, connect, and convert a massive audience who is begging to buy our stuff. Now, perhaps you may have seen an interview with my husband, James Brinkerhoff.
James. Oh, I love James.
I love James. I love James.
I love James.
But he is the genius behind building a massive audience with global reach. He's really, built me the platform to be able to come on and build myself as a globally recognized brand. And because of the work that we have done, we've been able to cultivate tens of thousands of leads at the push of the button, converted multiple six figures inside of just a couple of weeks. And at any given moment, we have an internal ecosystem that is specifically for our brand and our business. We don't have to go out and find joint venture partnerships. We don't have to go out and, pay exorbitant amounts of money to traffic that we may or may not convert for our offer. It's our own community and push button profit centers. So when you are dealing in restricted markets like the cannabis or hemp market, or other, restricted industries, and you are trying to find a way to promote your business, to build your brand, to build your recognition, and ultimately become recognized and respected while building revenue in your business, the things I'm going to be sharing with you inside of this interview are exactly the steps that you need to be following in order to build your impact and ultimately your income inside of your business. So if you are in network marketing or an MLM business, direct marketing, or you own a company of your own, this is key information for you to be able to have a turnkey profit system inside of your business. Do you want me to just dive in, or do you have questions?
Oh, this is so good. Yeah. So I do have some questions. These are, I really want to get to know you. Like you have so much incredible value. And so what I want to do is I want to figure out first where, just to start off is how long have you been doing this, and what got you started in all of this?
So doing this, how long have I been doing this, is kind of a loaded question because there's multiple facets to what I do. But if we're just keeping it really specific to marketing and restricted industries or building my business with cannabis and hemp, cannabis and hemp education, to be clear, we started Legalize It, Don't Criticize It about 2 years ago. Let's call it 22 months. And in that time period, we've built our following to over 980,000 people. We've reached 27 million people. We have over 50 million video views, 350,000 subscribers, 2,200 articles published, and around 30,000 people a month consuming our content just on our blog. That's not even including the other places that we are that we have our reach. And so we've been doing that for about 22 months. If you track our history all the way back to when our involvement started and what my entry point into this industry and how my skill sets have had to evolve and improve in order to get to where I am now. You know, James and I have about 30 years combined experience inside of this industry. He very much on the entrepreneurial side, and myself coming as a patient who has had to fight both the legal and medical system for my rights to safe access. I've been an advocate ever since my, first discovering my endocannabinoid system and understanding microdosing, strain selection, how to use phytonutrients, hemp nutrients, hemp-based products like CBD, or even understanding cannabinoids and how they can nourish the mind, body, spirit, and really bringing the body back into balance. That started for me when I was 16 years old, and I moved to Colorado in 2009 to help write legislation that would legalize cannabis for a for-profit medical model. I've owned and operated one of the first 100 licensed dispensaries in the world, and sold that business to move into digital marketing and to work with individuals, on developing and monetizing their message in a marketplace full of their ideal customers. And I know you guys hear this all, build the know, like, and trustability, and people will flock to you. And it's really just like a bunch of fluffy bullshit. You really have to have a mastered message that is meeting a marketplace that is specific. That message has to be specifically crafted to do three things: capture the attention of the person that you want to become your client or consumer. Number two is to create an authentic connection with them. And number three is to make them an irresistible offer that will convert them into a paying customer. And that's how you generate the cash flow. Everyone wants to talk about growing and scaling their business, but they forget that you have to first gain traction, then momentum before you can start to build the revenues. So for me, I've been a part of this since I was 16 years old. My professional skill sets have developed out of pure necessity to be involved and staking my claim as an innovator, a really powerful executioner and pioneer in the fastest growing cash-rich industry in the world. There's many, many very smart people who are pushing this movement and have this mission of global legalization and safe access to products like CBD or hemp or cannabis, all in the same, all directly related. If you ask me, they're all the same thing. But they've been segregated and separated. So yeah, that's my background.
Indeed. Wow, that's amazing. That is so that is really awesome. Like, wow. Okay, so why is this cannabis industry, why is this your passion?
Well, when I was 16 years old, I was in a near fatal surfing accident, and I'll tell you the story really quickly. I was in the leadership and training program, basically to become a camp counselor for the YMCA in San Diego. And I went out during my free time to go surfing. And let's be clear, my wanting to go surfing had a passion for the waves, but I also had a passion for the hot lifeguards that were on the beach. So I was definitely showing off that day when I took my board out into the
Was James a lifeguard, or where's James come in the picture?
James was not in the picture at the time. Okay, so
James, don't watch this video.
No, he already knows. He's my best friend of hella years. So he already knows my shenanigans. So here I was, long flowing locks blowing in this ocean air, and I was running out I was in my own episode of Baywatch, taking my board out into the surf, and I jumped and caught the wave of my life. And as I was riding her into shore, I got hit off of my board, tumbled, hit the ocean floor like a ton of bricks, got caught in the undertow. My board went shooting out the back. I nearly, I didn't know what was up, what was down. I nearly drowned in front of the lifeguards that I was there to show off for. So those same people pulled me out of the water and laid me down on the beach. And as I was gasping for air, trying to just get oriented, doing my finger and toe check, I recognized that, I was starting to tingle and go numb in my extremities. And I could still move and I could still feel well enough. And I was just telling myself, get up, Sonia, get up. And I got up and I was like, okay, I'll just walk it off, it'll go away in just a couple of days. Well, a couple of days turned into weeks, turned into months, turned into years. And at the peak of my illness, which it can't be described in any other way than saying, do you know that feeling like when your legs feel like your legs go to sleep and they feel like they're full of fire ants and you just have to run them under cold water or something because you're just tingling and crawling all over? Have you ever had your feet fall asleep like that, Jeff?
I usually do if I sit too long on the toilet.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But I know what you mean. So like, I know how irritating that is. I couldn't imagine it worse.
So it was like having a seizure while being covered in fire ants and electrocuted at the same time. My entire body would go into full paralysis. I would be convulsing, but still being able to communicate literally only well enough to like let out a shriek and a scream because I felt like I was on fire being electrocuted. And I had acquired neurological damage that triggered this syndrome and the symptoms of it were just horrific. I went from being this, otherwise healthy, vibrant, happy young woman to, spending 3 out of 5 days at the hospital, experimental medications, experimental tests, cortisone shots in my spine that were blinding. It felt like there were so many chemicals in my body. I gained over 100 pounds and I was missing the moments that teenagers live for, your first kiss or going to a party or being able to go to the concert or even just the beach with your friends. And I found myself getting more and more and more depressed and sad and hopeless. And the damage is never really, to yourself when you're when you're the sick member of the family. It's really, the damage happens in your family when you start to see your siblings affected by your illness or the choices that your parents are able to make and how they're planning their day or their life is all around you, and you start to feel like an inconvenience and a burden. It wasn't until tens of thousands of dollars had been spent with the medical system or dozens of doctors, multiple prescriptions, tens of thousands of hours in experimental everything, and nothing worked. It wasn't until I saw lucky number 27, a holistic neurologist in Southern California, who introduced me to my endocannabinoid system, taught me about microdosing, strain selection, phytonutrients, mind-body balance. And even though I was raised holistically, this was a really turning point for me to start to assume and take responsibility for my own health and well-being. And 3 months after following this protocol that we'd created together, I was off of all of my prescription medications, 6 months off of over-the-counter medications. After 9 months, I had lost 97 pounds and was starting to feel like myself again. Not 3 months later, I was arrested for possession of cannabis. And this really turned me into a public advocate and somewhat of an activist because my rights as a patient in California had been violated. I had to relapse back into my whole syndrome, even though I was healthy and vibrant at the time and had multiple proofs and letters from medical professionals who had attributed my success and transformation to using hemp and cannabis-based products. It was still not enough. So I had to go through 3 years of battling the legal system after battling the medical system. And in 2008, I submitted a report giving an internal view of my experience in that PC 1000 program with the legal system. They implemented the changes, and within 90 days, we saw a 30% increase in people being successful in that program. And I received a handwritten letter from the judge to join Matt Cook and the Department of Revenue in the development of the foundational legislation that would legalize cannabis for a for-profit medical model. We owned and operated one of the first licensed dispensaries. I was a part of the voluntary committee that created the criteria to develop the medical marijuana enforcement division, which is the governing agency for all things cannabis in this state and is being replicated and duplicated across the country right now. And I'm very, very proud and humbled to have been a part of multiple states' legislative process to bring safe and legal access to top quality products to the patients and people who need and want access. So I am passionate about this because my own life was saved. The entire trajectory of my life has been transformed because of the results that I was able to achieve myself. And I believe in human freedom. I believe in our basic rights to choose and select and be empowered and informed in the way that we decide how we want to treat and treat ourselves, the people that we love, conditions that we may be suffering from or working to prevent. It is our choice on how we do what we do every day, whether it's building your business or taking care of your bodies, empowering the next generation with the information and education that you offer them. It is our choice, and we need to be interested and invested enough in ourselves to pursue the truth. So that is why I'm passionate, because I know what is possible when you are willing to ask the uncomfortable questions and take the path less followed.
Wow. That's amazing. So like, it's crazy because I'm sure in those times, in those moments, it might have felt like struggled, like, oh man, this is really tough that I'm going through this. But right now you are an absolutely amazing voice for this industry. You speak like into the lives of literally millions of people. And so it's so crazy that those things have been blessings this whole time in such a way that like it didn't go to waste. You have your voice is going to carry on for so much longer than just what you've created. So like, just thank you so much for what you've done so far, and that you've went through this. Like, wow, like that is amazing that you've had to go through this, and here you are. Like, this is the person you've became because of this, and that's a very special path to be able to mold you into who you are today. So like, that's really amazing.
Thank you.
That is really amazing. Okay, so now let me ask you, what was your like first success out there? Like, what was, now you've moved into like the digital marketing space where you're building your own following. You're no longer like promoting in a sense those things. Are you past all of that now? And now what are you actively doing currently now? What is your mission today?
So my mission is to bring the truth about cannabis and hemp to the consumer so that we can make empowered, educated decisions about how we want to treat ourselves, the people that we love, conditions that we may be suffering from, and ultimately creating a movement around freedom. I believe that we are complacent. I believe that we are victims of a system that is built on keeping us addicted and not empowered. And so it was really a turning point for me when we, this was all kind of an accident. We had gone in, a couple of things that you guys need to know. Number one is the way that we have cultivated our results and where was our really big win. Our first really big win was after our biggest failure. And
Ooh.
This is,
oh, that's so beautiful. I'm gonna like super tune in. Okay, so first biggest win was after your first biggest failure.
yeah. And this time it's like just burned into my memory, because I believe, that every single thing has layered onto the next thing. And when I was being raised by a single mother, my mom chose network marketing as a vehicle to provide for our family. And she was a single mother to 3 girls, took care of us totally on our own. And quite honestly, when we left our dad, we started out in a perfect stranger's household. She took us in and we lived in her living room and on her porch. And, I started my first day of 7th grade living on a porch and, freshly divorced from our family, and my mom sort of looking at us like, okay, time to kick into high gear. And she joined a company called Prepaid Legal and so I grew up in a household watching my mom build herself up one brick at a time using the power of network marketing. And so I always understood the power of building a team and becoming an influencer, a community leader and liaison, and connecting people to products and services that would transform the way that they lived on a membership type basis. So it was a familiar conversation to me. After we sold, so fast forward a few decades, and look at James and I, in the brick and mortar business, in the cannabis industry, right at the time where they were moving from a medical model into recreational cannabis. And we decided to sell our business. The rules and regulations were too much, for us to be able to really make the impact that we wanted to make. We saw and recognized the gap in education, and we also needed and wanted to make a bigger impact with what we knew and how we knew to execute these things to get the results that you really wanted. And the regulation didn't offer that. So James and I decided to sell our business and move back to California and to go back and support our partners. Well, what we discovered was that our partners had quite literally emptied the safe and cut and run. Like, we went from having a successful consulting business and lotion company and all, like, this whole thriving industry, to having an abandoned farm, abandoned office, and empty bank accounts. With more than $10,000 due on the first, we had $500 in our pocket, maxed credit cards, and no way through. And James, who, by the way, the two of us together could hardly manage sending a group email. Like, we were virtually tech-hearted, James coming out of the hills, me coming out of doing everything on paper, like running a hair care business. And here we were in the face of, like, what the fuck are we going to do now? And James looks up how to make money on the internet. And in 24 hours, James, in the dark of the night,
so James, the hero,
his entrepreneurial spirit.
I'm running ads on that keyword.
started boning him in the ear, and some fool on the screen popped up and was like, "You can make millions on the internet," and that started our fucking digital marketing journey. Excuse my cursing here, but it was real, and I know that you guys have been there searching and looking for the opportunity that's going to make you a fucking internet millionaire. And I'll tell you from personal experience, it's real, but you got to kiss a lot of frogs before you find the prince. And you have to be so intricately crazy enough to stick with something that you are certain is going to fail, that you make it work. You just got to be crazy enough to make it work, even if you're certain it's going to fail, because your mind, your mentality, you're the people that are in your inner circle, they want you to fail so they can tell you, "I told you so." And that starts with you. You want to believe. You have people around you right now, like Jeff, telling you that success is possible because he's achieved it, but your brain is so deeply, I have to go on my rant here, your brain is so deeply programmed to believe that you're already going to fail, that you're not even willing to do the things that if I gave you a step-by-step right now, you don't have the balls to follow it right now, because you're already have convinced yourself that you're going to fail. Now, if you're just crazy enough, you might take the first step towards success. And being just that crazy will make it possible for you to duplicate the results that I'm about to tell you that I got. Because James hit that button to buy that $9.97 offer. He hit that button to enroll in that monthly thing when we had zero income and no fucking idea how to send a group email. What business did we have starting an internet company? But I did understand these three things: capture, connect, convert. So I said to James, "You send me a lead and I will turn it into a sale." So there he went, trying to figure out how to generate the lead, okay? On the computer, trying to figure out how to...
Anyone that's watching this on the podcast, you guys didn't see the great face, but it was James' thinking face.
It was James' thinking face. Okay, so the thinking face came on, and for days I watched him, and all of a sudden we got a lead. And here came the lead, and it got on the phone with me. What happened? I sold a package. First package came in, and all it takes is your first win. You're going to hit 100 no's before you get that first yes, but fucking A. If you get that first yes, game over. You're all of a sudden your mentality goes from there's no way I can do this to holy shit, I can't believe I just did this. Let me see if I can do it again. And now you're in competition with yourself. Can I do that shit again, or was this a fluke accident? Like getting struck by lightning, or can I do this again? So sure enough, the next lead came in. I got on the phone. I captured their attention. I connected with them authentically. And all of a sudden they were asking me, well, where do I send my payment? How can I pay you? And I was like, wait a minute. I didn't even have to ask for the money. Let's see if we can do this. Over and over and over again. It started to happen. And authenticity, just being myself and telling them, you know what? I don't have all the answers for that. I gave myself permission to say no. And all of a sudden in our first month of business, we did $27,000 in sales.
Yes. Oh, James. So you guys are awesome. What a cool team.
So he was generating the leads. I was closing the sales. And I'm over here like breaking a sweat because it still fucking makes me nervous to think about it. It was such a big risk. And not everybody is willing to take that risk. Not everybody is willing to jump in both feet. And I got to be honest with you, the mentality of an entrepreneur, I don't even think I have it sometimes. Sometimes I know and have to give credit to my husband, my partner, my friend who continuously tells me that mediocrity is not an option. Wow. And that people live every day in mediocrity because it's comfortable. And if you are a person, an entrepreneur, a business owner, a parent, if you are a friend and you are looking for life-changing opportunity and information, you have to be willing to get out of your comfort zone, whatever that is for you. It's a daily programmed routine that is producing the results that you have today. And if you have that pie in the sky mentality, if you have that mile marker that's set out in front of you and you can see it with a microscope, they say that faith is the size of a mustard seed. If you can see that milestone in a microscope, anything is possible. And it starts with the vision. And James has held that for us many, many times and put me in roles that have otherwise made me uncomfortable. But it's my willingness that starts my ability to make an impact. My willingness and my ability to tell a story. So I'm not even sure what the question was anymore, but but my first big win came after our first big failure. Our first big failure was putting all of our eggs in one basket and trusting somebody with the key.
Wow.
That was our first big failure. Wow. And our first big win came from doing something that we never thought we could do, that we didn't have the skill sets to pull off, and being just crazy enough to try, following a step-by-step system that gave us the real tools to succeed. And just by having that diligence and the unique skill sets to capture, connect, and convert, that pulled us out of ruin and put us into possibility. So that was our first real taste. Now, it wasn't until I joined my first mastermind that I really saw my first win. I took the sum of that money, $25,000 of $27,000 that we had just made. Wow. I took that $25,000 and I walked into a seminar where I was being sold a mastermind. I either could buy a $12,000 product or a $25,000 product. And I was at a speaking to sell seminar because I figured out if I can master this messaging, if James started to introduce it to me, Sonia, if we're speaking on stages, if we're doing all of this stuff, then we can do this on a larger scale. This was when the one-to-many idea was introduced to me as an entrepreneur and business owner. Now, I had made $27,000 in a brand new company, and I was a brand new affiliate, one of the first promoters. And so I got my first speaking gig and I was like, shit, now I have to speak in front of people. I better go to a speaking event and learn this skill set. So there I was in the Speaking to Sell seminar with Dave Van Hoos and Dustin Matthews, who has trained Russell Brunson on speaking and selling, who has trained Tony Robbins' kid, Russ Whitney, you know, some of the biggest name, Grant Cardone, Mike Koenig, some of the biggest names in marketing. This man is responsible for helping them to craft their message and develop their speaking skill sets. So I went to the best. You want to be the best, you got to go to the best. Wow. So I went there and I took 25,000 of my 27 that I had just earned, and I bought myself into the mastermind. And guess what? In that mastermind, you are in the company, in that environment where you can put yourself with high-powered people who are putting up the numbers and have the results that you want to duplicate. Just being in that consciousness, buying yourself the opportunity to connect with them, leveling up and showing that like, I too am ready for this win. That gives you instant positioning. And I cultivated some relationships there of people who are still lifelong friends of mine.
Wow.
And my biggest win came from my first joint venture opportunity when I got to, you know, craft a message from scratch, promote to another audience, and pull 6 figures, you know, out of a speaking opportunity. That's really what changed it. So you know, investing in my skill sets to become a better speaker, to understand how to craft that message and then deliver it in a one-to-many setting. That's what gave me my big wins. It wasn't, you know, one-off sales here and building a team in network marketing or, you know, selling a product. It was really crafting that message to meet my marketplace and having an irresistible offer at the back end of it.
Wow. You know, so everything else was a conclusion of what you just said. So that is amazing. Like the audience and all of that is basically B. That's like B, right? So you essentially learned how to craft your message, learned how to craft your offer. Now, what would you say for somebody that has literally never pressed live, even pressed Facebook Live, or what would you say to that person that is in that situation today?
Nobody's going to see it.
Nobody's going to see it.
I'm just being totally honest with you. You're over here like pacing back and forth and losing sleep and losing your fucking marbles over something that no one's going to see. I got to just be honest with you. Unless you have spent the time and money to build and engage an audience, no one's going to see your shit. Even if you have 5,000 friends on Facebook right now, you'll be lucky if the Facebook algorithm and technology is on your side to get 5, maybe 10 people on there. And guess what? It's going to be your mom, your Aunt Bridget, your Uncle Lou, and your cousin Frankie, who you hang out with every weekend, who are watching you being like, yeah, awesome, great job going live, bro. Like, that's who's going to be on your live. Okay. So if you want to just like cut out being nervous right now, get over it, because the same people that are going to be watching you the first time you push the live button are the same fuckers who are coming over to eat all your barbecue chicken on Saturday. That's the truth of the matter. Now, it's also I mean, am I right or am I right, Jeff? Let's be honest.
Good. That is so good. It's
so true, right?
Yeah, sometimes I realize, you know, like I'm like, oh man, then like I'll like go to like a family reunion and they'll be like, hey, I see you always talking about that business thing you have.
Yeah.
I totally forget that you're part of my audience. That's really funny.
Yeah, it's funny, but like to get even to where you are right now, where you get, you know, a few dozen or maybe 100 people to watch you, like it takes time. It takes consistency. So like if you've never pushed the live button before and you're over here losing sleep over it and you're shaking and you don't know what you're going to say and you got cotton mouth and like you're nervous and like, you know, just fucking pop some CBD, bro, and like take a nap, because there's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to worry about. Doing it is the hardest part.
Wow.
Like losing your virginity, just doing it is the hardest part. It's going to be over before you know it.
Yeah.
You know, like quite literally, it's going to be over before you know it. And now, once it's over, you can start to, okay, all right, cool. That wasn't so difficult. It didn't hurt. Nothing. I'm not like physically, nothing. I'm not bleeding, like nothing. I'm good. All my appendages are still here. I think I can push live again. And it's just like a muscle. It's just like a muscle that you have to
Wow.
continuously exercise. And really the only muscle that you have to exercise to go live on Facebook is your brain, your mentality. You have to give yourself permission to fail forward.
Wow.
The first time I ever went live, it was 2 weeks after I had a baby. I'm almost certain that I was wearing Depends, because like, you know, after the aftermath of birth is like gory and graphic. And so I think I was still wearing an adult diaper. Okay. I somehow mustered up the strength after, you know, breastfeeding all night and doing all this weird stuff to put on some makeup and do my hair. And I sat down in front of the computer. James, meanwhile, had built up an audience of 100,000 people. And I was certain, like in my mind, I had built it up. I was like, Beyonce don't get 100,000 people in her concert. Like, I'm about to be seen and her people are going to give a shit. And like all this stuff had happened. You know, and I pushed the live button. I couldn't watch a comment. I didn't want to see how many people were live. I was so nervous. You go back and watch the video. I was like, I'm just so excited for you guys to be here with me. It was just like absurd, right? And like, I can't even watch it. I'm so nervous to like even see how terrible it was. And I think we got 10,000 views or something on that video. And I just remember being so nervous. And I've had all the professional training in the world, right? And in my mind, though, I was like, I don't look like Beyonce. I don't sound like Beyonce. Beyonce only gets 73,000 to her concert, but I have 100,000 people. And it's never as bad as you think. I think like maybe 100 people were live on there, and there are 100 people who still remind me of how awesome it was to see me go live that first time. So I think our brains really just, you know, we have this whole reality built up, and the assumption of the truth is so much worse than the actual truth itself, that we talk ourselves out of doing that, taking the next step, because we assume that the next step is going to be so scary that we won't even do it. But if you muster up the courage and just fucking do it, because your mom is going to be on there cheering you on, like literally it's going to be your mom on there cheering you on. So don't worry about it. No one is there. Like, trolls exist, but not in small communities. You don't even have to worry about that. Everyone's going to just be proud of you and excited for you and happy for you. And the scariest part is just pushing the button. After that, it just is fun and it's natural. And it's like you're having conversations with people who don't talk back. So you get all the airtime. It's like awesome. It's great.
Conversations with people that don't talk back, so you get all the airtime. That's so good. It's so good. It's like, hey, I'm the center of attention. I'm the show right now, but you guys are here to talk back to me.
Yeah. Let me know how you're doing, and I'll get back to that later. No, it's really cool. Business, entrepreneurial shit. Speaking to sell, whether you're selling something or not, is just the courage to say hello.
Wow.
And most often that's what people need. If you take it back to the schoolyard days and feeling like, you're in high school, and if you don't hang out with the right crowd or say the right thing or do the right thing or wear the right thing, that no one's going to accept you. And that you learn later on in life, after you graduate and after the friends you thought were going to be your ride or die crew till the day that you die, when they all disappear 6 months after graduation and you're left standing there by yourself and all you have to look at is the person in the mirror, you realize that the only thing that you can do is take the first step forward and leave what was in the past and start walking towards possibility. And anything is possible if you're willing to take the first step.
Wow. I wrote that down. You said just the courage to say hello. That's just so deep. Sometimes literally it's just the courage to say hello literally that starts a friendship. It's there's no intention besides this, but I have the courage just to say hello.
Yeah.
I see a lot of some of the most like engaging posts I see online are the ones that just say, "Good morning, hello," and then everyone's like, "Hello." And it's like they had the courage just to say hello, and it's like that probably made somebody's day. And so like that's pretty deep, and like everything else will happen after that. So you did really amazing. All right, so what are your goals over the next 2 years, 1 to 2 years?
Well, some of the things that we have going on right now, we have Legalize It, Don't Criticize It, which is a community of, the 980,000 plus people. We also have a private community of 50,000. And
these
so
are
that
on
a little,
Facebook, is that correct? Like you
yeah.
guys built these massive audiences on Facebook. Is there anywhere else you guys are building these audiences per se?
Well, here's one of the biggest. The answer is no, not right now. But we're gearing up to. That's a little drip there.
Oh, I'm excited.
Little sneak peek. More to come. We'll be on a channel near you. But here, I think a lot of entrepreneurs make this mistake. And Forbes said that 8 out of 10 new businesses will fail in their first year. And this is one of the reasons why. Scaling too fast, over leverage, and underproduce. So it's the same as overpromise, underdeliver, right? People always promise more than they're able to produce. I like to underpromise and overdeliver. And I'll answer your question here in just a second, but I think a lot of people try and do too much on too many platforms and be everything to everyone. So we selected to use Facebook because our demographic is here. We know who our demographic is. We're really laser clear on who we want to serve, and this is where they hang out. We selected. Now, do they also hang out on YouTube? Are they also on Instagram? Are they also on Pinterest? Are they doing, LinkedIn and all of the other things? Yeah. Would our reach be bigger and our, growth capacity and revenues be larger if we were on those platforms as well? Absolutely. But we have built a unique ecosystem that every other company in this industry is looking to duplicate right now. And if you're not, you should be, because we have an internal ecosystem that allows us to have push button revenue through the things and strategies that we've been able to develop here. And we are also one of the only communities that has been able to run compliant ads for restricted markets like cannabis and hemp for the last 3.5 years. Wow. Me and my partners are doing something that nearly nobody else is doing. And where most folks are spending 2, 3, 4 times the amount of money to cultivate our results and duplicate our reach, we're spending pennies on the dollar comparatively, and getting 4, 5, 10 times return per dollar that we're spending. So Business 101, if you want to leverage your precious resources, I don't care if you have $1 million or $10, like learning how to leverage precious resources to give you the highest return in the shortest period of time. It always starts with going deep, not wide. A tree with a root system that goes wide and not deep will fall over in a storm. But if you have that taproot that connects you to the earth, that grounds you in your business, and it goes deep and then wide, will always stand the test of time. So we just selected to go deep into the Facebook strategy and community building. And we've tested this a couple of times by promoting somebody else's YouTube channel. We built up 10,000 subscribers in the first 7 days. So now we can promote any of our other social media platforms or partnered platforms and get instant expert positioning.
That is so cool. Traffic on demand.
Traffic on demand, and push button leads. It's you go deep, not wide. I can't say that enough. deep, not wide. Like that's how you stand the test of time, and then you don't have to continue. Like we spent money once that will pay us over and over and over and over again.
Wow. You know, and I think I've captured part of your guys's, hopefully the system as much as I possibly can with, I believe your guys' tech guy, your ads guy, and with James, those interviews. And so anyone that's watching, if you guys have not seen those interviews, like this is all like, we've have 3 people from the same team that have came on inside HMU that have taught you guys how to leverage this 900 and nearly 1 million people audience.
It's over 1 million. We have over 1 million followers across 2 different platforms, and you know, tens of thousands of people consuming our content every single month. So
that is amazing.
Yeah,
and you guys are running ads. So we've even broken down the ad strategy that you guys are using. You guys have literally been so gracious and like generous to give us such valuable information. And it's so amazing. What excites you the most about what you're doing currently?
a little bit of a loaded question. I think that there's like a soul aspect of this, and then there's like the performance aspect of this. So on a performance level, the pieces that I'm a firm believer in knowing and understanding your genius and not working outside of that. Mark Cuban said, you know, hire your strengths. And there's multiple ways to do that, or hire your weaknesses. There's multiple ways to do that. If you have no money, you can use internships. If you have some money, hire somebody part-time and be really, really strategic about the tasks that you get them to check off. For me, my genius is connection and conversions, sales, you know, being able to shine the light on somebody else, and you know, benefiting from that flow. For me, it's really about being able to highlight other people, other businesses, other things, other opportunities, and that's, you know, that's where I get ignited on it. So I love in my business, I love to be the one that is, you know, coaching, connecting, selling. I love speaking, you know, anywhere where I can be in front of and connected with people. That's what I absolutely love to do in my business, and content creation. That's what I love to do in my business. That's what fulfills me. It literally energizes me to be able to play those roles.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm in flow when I'm playing those roles. And the trick with business is really to find a way to use the most amount of leverage to bring the most amount of value into the marketplace that you want to serve. If you are not in flow, you're going to be met with quite a bit of resistance. There won't be leverage, and you'll find yourself just spinning a wheel like a hamster. When you are in flow and you have the proper team in place, and you know, things are just working the way that they should be working, you have a tremendous amount of leverage in your business to be able to serve the marketplace and solve real problems, which will reflect in the revenue that your company is building. On a soul level, though, I do what I do every day because of the people on this planet whose lives are being impacted by my work. You know, I get to interface with thousands of people who are telling me their stories of transformation, whether it's, you know, the parents of a child who has epilepsy and is for the first time becoming verbal. I'm going to cry. Don't cry.
I'm going to cry. Don't cry.
It's just so real. But like the parents of the children whose lives are being transformed, you know, and all of a sudden becoming verbal after 20 years. Wow. There was the story of a woman who said, my child was having hundreds of seizures, and after taking the product that you shared with me, I am, you know, I heard her say mommy for the first time today. Wow. And I, you know, the children of parents who have been suffering from, you know, cancer, arthritis, or digestive issues, and are starting to use these products or protocols and all of a sudden they're social and they're feeling good again and they're off medications and, are starting to be the parents that they once remembered. It is my kids who get to share the impact that their knowledge and experience is making in their schools or on their sports teams, or, whatever it is. My ability to donate to a cause because, of the success that I've built through, really mastering this piece of my business that I love. And that in my soul is what truly nourishes me, is being able to witness the impact that our industry, that my work, even if it's just a small part, that my work is contributing to. I get to feel that, I get to see it, I get to hear it. And knowing that somebody out there is surrounded by people who don't understand and are not willing to answer the necessary questions, knowing that I can and that I am willing to and able to, just like makes me get up every single morning. And it feels so good to know that what you're doing is making a difference. And so I'll just share one thing with you. A lot of businesses miss this, sort of formula. And the formula for success, a lot of people start with what am I going to sell? What am I going to sell? How much is it going to be? Like, they get caught up in the what. You'll hear people say, well, who are you going to serve? And so now you have, okay, who am I going to serve with what product conversation? Then you get to, what am I going to sell to who, when? Right? And then you're going to say, what am I going to sell to who, when, how am I going to sell it to them? But that's really like talking about the sales system, right? This is a funnel. You got your avatar, you got your product, you got, when you're going to go to launch, you got your, you're going to do it in a webinar or on a live broadcast or at an event. These are all the who, what, where, when, and how. But the question that most entrepreneurs forget to ask themselves is why? Why am I doing what I'm doing right now? What is the purpose? What is my higher purpose? What is it that I'm working towards? What is it that I'm working for? And that why, the social economic responsibility or impact of our business locally, in your state, in your community, in the world, what is the ripple effect of your business? Answering that question. It's cool to have a product or service. It's cool to know your avatar. It's cool to know when you're going to do something. It's great to know how you have to have all of that stuff too. But what will make the difference in whether or not you're going to be in business for 1 year or 10 years is knowing why you do something. What is the fuel? What is the why?
Wow. That's really amazing. Like, it's like one of those questions that most people, it's like we've talked about it, is like, that's everything, the sales system and the sales process, that's the B, right? That's the secondary system. What you're saying is the why, like, why are you doing this inside of you is more important. It's the first step. Like, why are you doing this?
It's the first step. And I'm going to add one more layer to this, or two more layers to this. You might be rolling your eyes being like, I want to make money. Like, why do I need to care about my why if I want to make money? And the truth is, you don't. There's plenty of people out there who are who's spending $100,000 to make $200,000. They understand the traffic game, and they'll say that business is a numbers game. And it is. But what we're talking about is a mission. We're talking about a movement. We're talking about building massive audiences who are begging to buy your shit. We're talking about internal ecosystems, and more importantly, crafting a message that will help you deliver an irresistible offer that will enroll people into your program, product, service. Okay. And if you want to do cost per acquisition and CPC and CPA and, all of this technical stuff with traffic, talk to somebody else. But if you want to build lifelong fans and followers lifelong customers. If you want to build a subscription list of people who are begging to buy from you every single day, I get a message every 3 seconds, and 1 out of 3 of those people are asking me to purchase something. So you have to know that if you want a hungry crowd, a built-in client base, you have to master your message to your market. And so the second layer to, it's not like, oh, know your why and be committed to, like, it's not fluffy stuff. It's real shit. It's very, very real that I have a massive audience who is begging to buy things from me on a daily basis because my message, my mission, the movement that I have created is so much bigger than any product or service that I could offer them. Sure, offer a product or service and I'll get paid once. Maybe they join my business. Maybe they don't. Maybe they become a part of my team. Maybe they don't, whatever. Selling something gives you like one-time dopamine. But the bigger picture here is that people are enrolled not in my product or in my business. They're enrolled and involved in my mission, and they are a part of my movement. And that is global. That's how you eradicate racism. That's how you give women their rights. That's how you make change. Wow. For the world, not just for your business, but for the world, is by starting a movement. I am like Martin Luther King. I'm like Oprah. I'm like the game changers in the world. That's who you can compare me to, because I have a mission and I have a movement, and the money is just a result of the impact that mission and movement can make.
Wow. That is really amazing. So this kind of brings it back to now, I guess it gives you a better perspective. What are your goals over the next 1 to 2 years now?
So that was the question. So my goals over the next 1 to 2 years is quite literally to help up level the industry and really establish some ground rules that will eliminate the bullshit and start to shine the light on the people who are doing things differently. In the Emerald Circle, we have 2 programs. We have the Leaf Academy, which is a certification academy and education platform for people to come and learn how to develop the professional skill sets they need to build and grow massive audiences and to build and grow successful coaching programs. A lot of people that would be a good fit for that are, internet marketers. If you have a home-based business, multi-level marketing in the cannabis and hemp space, and you want to learn how to effectively sell more products to more people, building a subscription, building a team, and serving a clientele and multiple streams of income. If you're tired of having prospect calls that are not paying you, we help you get paid for your time and the products that you sell. We help you incorporate high ticket packages. That's what the Leaf Academy does, and we help give you professional certifications that are recognized by agencies like the American Medical Certification Board. With over 1.4 million members, we are recognized and utilized by many of the municipalities in the medical system. So you know that you're getting education here that's being leveraged by our trusted advisors. The second program that we have is more oriented towards cannabis and hemp businesses. It's called the Emerald Circle Mastermind. And as a member of the Emerald Circle Mastermind, we are focused on solving 3 key problems. We are focused on solving the manufacturing and compliance, marketing and advertising, banking and merchant processing, and then finally distribution. Where and how can you sell more of your products to become a globally recognized brand? So the Emerald Circle is focused to help build those businesses and make sure that we are standing the test of time. Right now, everyone's having the conversation, how do I start my own brand? We're focused on starting brands that will stand the test of time and be able to build legacy wealth. So in the next 2 years, I see myself having a massive portfolio of these brands, maybe, 50 brands, 100 brands that are 100% compliant, unique, and solving real problems, producing real results, and looking at and having conversations with the big money, like some of our investors that help to fund some of our Emerald Circle members are representing $50 billion in capital and are looking for the key brands that can exit, for 10, 15, 20 times multiple on their revenue. So I'm really hyper focused on helping these brands over the next couple of years rise to the top as the cream of the crop and making those financial exits that they want, and then seeing our reach go up and over 100 million.
Wow. That is such a beautiful 2-year goal. Like, I love it. You're literally going, that is really awesome. So way to set the bar high. So that's awesome.
Well, if I look at it, it's totally attainable, right? If in 2 years I reached 50 million, yeah. I think that if now it's just a matter of like multiplication, right? I think if in 2 years I can hit 50 million, I think in 1 year I can hit another 50 million, which would give me that 100 million person reach.
Wow. Okay, now here's a question. What would you do if you had to start completely all over from scratch today?
Oh, if I had to start all over today, I would focus on building the audience.
Building the audience.
Yeah. If I had to start over today and I had the same $10,000, let's just say somebody has $10,000. Right. And it's your last $10,000 to be able to invest in. Number one is I would identify my avatar, who's the person that I want to serve and the problem that I want to solve. Number one. Number two is I would immediately start to identify the biggest groups that are already in existence. And I would find a way to add value. I would create a special report or a video series or something of that nature to solve a specific problem for that existing group with my social media handles or email ready to capture those leads. And I would start to generate my following. And then I would find an agency who was capable of helping me build that Facebook following or following period, that audience, as fast as humanly possible. And at the end of 30 days, I would make my first pitch. That's what I would do.
Wow.
And this, whether you're in network marketing or you're building your first hemp business, or you already have an established business and are trying to figure out how to build more customers and build more revenue, absolute best thing that you can do is get in front of more eyes. And if you don't have the money to pay to play, I would suggest that you build your own ecosystem, because you spend the money once and you can make it over and over and over again. And if you want more information on how you can do that, you can hit me up on my personal, you can just hit me up on my personal page. I think you'll provide links for all of that stuff.
That's the very next question. So what is the next steps for anyone that is watching this? Can they reach out to you personally? I like to provide a link. Can they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to take messages from Jeff's community. If you guys want to connect with me directly, I'll provide my Facebook link. I'm Sonia Gomez on Facebook, and that's probably the best way. You can also shoot me an email. I'll give you guys my private email, sonia@sojaymedia.com, SOJAY media.com. Sonia is spelled Sonia. And you guys just shoot me an email there and let me know what challenges you're having and how I might be able to support. As a matter of fact, I will give you guys each 30-minute free consultation. If you want to review your business with me, I'd be happy to just take a look, listen to where you guys are at. If I have any key resources or relationships I can offer to help build and grow, I'm happy to offer that to the community. And if there's something specific that you believe I can help you build, and we'll identify that in our consultation. I'd be happy to offer you guys also a discount, those of you who are coming from HMU or Jeff's Traffic Gods community. I am here to help, and I'll give you guys some special discounts.
Wow. Yay, Sonia. Yay. You're the best. Thank you so much for being here at Hemp Marketing University. You have been absolutely amazing. I have learned so much. You're an absolute inspiration. And here's anyone that's watching this. I would love to know your guys' why. Why are you in the cannabis space? Why are you in this business? Sonia, you have done such a well job, like of explaining why you're in this. And, it really inspires me to really dig deep of why my why is there, so my business lasts as long as what you've created. And so thank you so much from all of us.
Oh, thank you so much for having us. And you have something really cool here. I mean, the Hemp Marketing University is, not only necessary, but it's really super valuable. And for those of you guys who are enrolled in HMU, continue to stay plugged into the content. There's going to be incredible professionals from all walks of life who are putting numbers on the board that you can really, take advantage of, and steer clear of the flossy, glossy marketers who are promising random things like 6 figures in 6 months, because it's just not the case unless you have a bunch of money. Just watch out for the fools out there, and make sure that you're staying plugged into reputable, high quality communities and families like Jeff's and like HMU, and reach out and check out the different options and opportunities that you have out there. And we're here to help however we can. Thanks so much for all the work you're doing. And I'm so proud, Jeff, to be an inspiration and a motivation to starting the HMU. I know that it was because of the results that we got through the promotion of our community that inspired the movement. And I'm just I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. And can't wait to see this thing grow to the moon.
Yay. Thank you so much. You're the best.
You're so welcome.
Bye, guys.